We're introducing a powerful new feature in SprocketAI called SprocketAI Tasks. It's a way to keep track of tasks and accountabilities and workflows throughout any manufacturing organization. We're going to do a quick product run through of exactly how it works so you can see how you can put tasks to work in your organization. First, we're going to take a look at where a lot of tasks start, which is in meetings. So part of SprocketAI is it can participate in meetings, transcribe, and generate reports out of meetings. One of the interesting things that it can do is actually capture action items from those meetings. These can be daily production meetings, they can be shift huddle meetings, maintenance or quality meetings, any sort of meeting that happens related to manufacturing operations. Here we've got a daily production team meeting that we've captured, and this is the report that was generated based on this team shift meeting that occurred. So we've got a few of our key points here: machine issues that came up on some different machines, quality, safety, throughput, and some action items. Now, what we do here is we actually capture these action items as tasks. And you can see that here, that these are all AI generated. So the AI, based on listening to the meeting, was able to capture these 5 tasks. And so we present these tasks to you, and you can decide whether they're real tasks or whether they don't need any follow-up. So let's take a look at these, and we'll make a couple of decisions about whether any follow-up is needed on these. So here it's automatically identified individuals who were mentioned in the meeting who were responsible for each of these. So it automatically figures this information out. So we've got a couple here that are pretty similar about a servo valve. We're going to dismiss that one, which means it just goes away. We're going to approve that one, which now it's an approved task. We're going to approve that one. We're going to approve that one. And we're going to go ahead and approve that one as well. And you can change who the accountability person is for any of these. So you can change that very easily. So now let's check out where these tasks actually go. We've approved 4 of the 5 AI generated tasks that were extracted from this meeting. So let's see what happens when we go there. So as soon as we click on that, then we can see the full details of the task. And you can see we have a lot of flexibility about what to do with this task. So we can change this. We can see the details here about what was written up by the AI. We also see, so in the future, when we're referring to this task, we see where it came from. We can actually click on this and go back to the meeting from which it came. So when you're looking at tasks and you're wondering, hey, what was the context of that task? What was the meeting that came out of? You just click on that and you get transported right to that specific meeting, and you can look through more detailed notes to understand the context of that particular meeting. So let's take a look at our tasks. Right now, we don't have any tasks, but one of the interesting things that SprocketAI has in its task system is the idea of teams. You can have teams that different team members are a part of, and it will automatically select. So here I'm part of the sales team. I can click on this task, and I can see that no one is assigned to this. So I'm going to go ahead and claim that. So now that's my task. This is great to have a queue of work that might be coming into a particular team. The team can look at that queue of work coming in and just claim it as they can. You can also, of course, manually assign these to people. If you're a team lead or manager and want to go through and assign things, that's very easy to do. So now going back to my task, we see that one that we just claimed. Here it is. And with these tasks, you can change the status of them. You can change what team they're part of. They can belong to projects. You can actually associate them to pieces of equipment as well as easily specify what the due dates are. Okay, so let's take a look at we're going to take a look at how the board's here. So we're going to take a look at a particular project and then how we can represent that. So projects are a way to group tasks together. So if you've got an upgrade project, maybe a new tool, or some sort of project that collects a bunch of different activities together, then you can create a new project. And once you do that, that project will show up in the projects area. And then you can just click on that, and you can see all the different projects here, and you can see the related projects that are all together here. And so once we do that, we can click on a particular project here, such as our Line 6 HMI upgrade, and we see the tasks that are associated to it. This supports pictures as well, so you can easily just paste pictures in here. This can come from any source. You can upload a picture or just use a clipboard, copy and paste it in. And it can accept a bunch of different pictures here. So it's really easy to show visual content. We have a part drawing, a schematic, a plan that is related to the particular project. And we also support Kanban boards. So you can actually see how the different categories of tasks, open, in progress, things that are on hold, completed, and archived. And we support drag and drop. So as you take on a project, if you're in a team meeting and you want to go through and organize these, then you can easily just drag and drop these, and then you can edit the task right here as well. So it's very easy to visually see where everything is. We also support making comments on tasks. So this is a great way to have collaboration. On every single one of these tasks, you can have running comments where you can just make a comment and it'll notify anybody who is subscribed to the task. And you can also specifically tag users. So if we just want to say, if we want to mention someone and ask, we can just do that, and then we can make a comment, and then Alice will be immediately notified about this, and she'll get an email about it and see that we had a question there. And as people add comments here back and forth, you can be able to, you can trace all of this. Now, one of the other interesting things that this has is activity history. So a lot of times you want to know the history of when did somebody open a task, when was it assigned, was it changed, did the due date change, did somebody close it out, maybe before the task was completed, and you can track that through activity history. So this will track the entire history of the task, including changes of state, changes of due dates, changes of who was responsible for it. So you can see the history of that task all in activity history right there. Now, we also support tags. Tags are a great way to organize a bunch of different tasks in ways that you might want to be able to filter for them in the future. So let's take a look at that. So we had this task that we took on a little bit earlier, and that's this one here. And we might want to categorize these by customer. So let's say we've got a Megacorp here. If we want to keep track of similar tasks that are all related to Megacorp, then we can simply create a new tag called Megacorp. And now that tag exists there. And so in the future, when we want to filter just for tasks that are related to Megacorp, we can just go up here and say, okay, only show me tasks that are related to Megacorp. And we'll see, in this case, all of my tasks that are related to Megacorp. And you can do that, for a broader set. If you're looking at a team, you can tag it that way as well, which is really convenient. And then you can also identify tasks and keep track of tasks that you have assigned. So if you're a project manager, if you tend to assign a lot of tasks out to people, oftentimes it's really useful to get a sense of where all the tasks are that you have assigned out so you can keep track of what the status is. And you can see that here. So these are all the tasks that I have assigned out to other people, and I can easily see what's going on with each of these and what the current status is. Even if they're in different projects, even if they're associated to different teams, you can have it all in one place. You can also associate these to assets. So if we want to look at a particular asset, we can create a task that is associated with that asset. And once we do that, then it'll show up with that particular asset. Now, this also supports creating custom boards. So sometimes what you want to do is have a custom Kanban board where you can actually decide what the process looks like. And this system supports that as well. So this would be really good for things, for example, corrective action and preventative action processes. We might say that we could have different categories of status that each one of these is in. So in this case, we're going to create a board of kappas, and we want to be able to categorize where each of these kappas is. And so we're going to create 4 columns that will be identification, the investigation, action plan, and monitoring. And once we do that, then there's our new board. And then we can create, if we want to create a new kappa, for example, in this custom board, then we can just add a task that will be here. It'll start off in identification. And then over time, we can monitor this, and we can just come back. You can see now that we've got this kappa board, and we can go back and view all the tasks that are associated with that. And you can just drag and drop these, as it goes from identification to the investigation to the action plan, so on and so forth. That is completely customizable. So whatever it might be, if you want to track NCRs this way, if you want to track kappas this way, if there's other types of things that are a consistent process that you want to manage tasks through, then you can create it in a totally custom way and be able to have all of that here. Finally, we support email notification. So sometimes you would create a task or you want to stay up to date with what's going on with a particular task. And this system supports the ability to subscribe to the changes that happens to a task. So by default, anything that you create, any task that you create, you will be subscribed to. But you can also go out, and if there are other tasks that are out there that you want to be able to see what's going on, then you can subscribe to those tasks. And that is done with this little yellow mark here. So if you just click that, that's what it looks like when you're unsubscribed. And that's what happens when you're subscribed. And that way, any changes that happen to that task, you will be notified about. And the system is smart about grouping multiple notifications together. So you won't get flooded with emails. If there are a bunch of changes that happen at once, if there's 5 or 6 different changes, it'll group all of them together and send you one email with those 5 or 6 changes together to save your inbox. So that's a high-level overview of what is in the task system. And we have a bunch of other exciting features that it can do. A lot of these tasks also get saved in the AI system, and the AI can actually interact with the system as well. So we can ask it questions and even make changes, create new tasks just by talking with the AI. As an AI native platform, Sprocket can also manage your tasks and projects on behalf of you as an AI agent. It's great when sometimes you're on the go or you just need to jot something down or remind yourself or remind someone else to have an accountability, some sort of follow-up task. Let's see how that actually works. So we can either just write something in here to ask it to create or manage tasks for us, but we can also do it by voice, which is especially nice when you're on the go. This has a mobile native experience, so you can also use this on your phone. Hey, can you put a task in for me for next Wednesday? Make it due next Wednesday. I need to buy a part for the hydraulic cylinder. This is for machine 2. So can you go ahead and put that in for me? So what it will do is it'll create a task for us, and this actually is able to associate the task to the right machines. And so it says it's gone ahead and done this. Let's take a look and see how it did. We can take a look at tasks, and we see that task right here, and it has got the right date for us. It assigned it to the right machine based on our request. It's assigned it to me based on the request and made it an open task. Then we can manage it from here. This can also, if you need to, if you're a manager, team lead, and you need to dispatch tasks out to people, you can do that as well. So let's give that a try. Hey, can you put in a task for Alice? We need to create a part sampling request for a customer. We need to do that by next Friday. So can you go ahead and do that? And again, based on just these voice requests, it's going to listen to us. It's going to interpret what the need is. It's going to assign it to the correct person. And here we go. It's gone ahead and done that. And then if we look in here and look at the from me, we can see that it's gone ahead and created that task. I figured out who we were talking about, put in the date and what the task was. So it makes it really easy to create these accountabilities, very quickly. It can also manage tasks or can manage projects on our behalf. So let's try that. Can you take a look at the tasks in the XB7 project and just give me an overview of where we are at it and what the status is for that project? So it'll take a look at this, figure out what the project is, which is one of the projects we've created here. And we've got a couple of tasks that are there, and it identified the 2 here. And from there, we could, create a new task. We could say, hey, let's go ahead and put in another task for something related to that project. So just kind of skips all the typical user interface stuff. You can just talk to it with voice. You can type out the request here, and the AI agent will be able to carry out these actions. Even if you wanted to create multiple tasks, if you wanted to create 5 different tasks covering a variety of different topics, it could do that just by you talking to it, and it would go through and iterate and do all of them on your behalf. So that's kind of a little bit of a preview of the power of AI agents.